Episode 5 Fleeting Emotions. The episode opens in the quiet of the early morning. Kira sits alone at the edge of a cliff, overlooking the valley below. The sun's soft rays illuminate the vast expanse of mountains that have always been her home, yet today they feel suffocating. Her mind is consumed by the events of the past few days, her capture of Ren, their heated confrontations, and the unfamiliar feelings stirring within her heart. She touches the hilt of her sword, a symbol of her identity as a bandit, yet for the first time, she feels the weight of it more than ever. "What am I doing?" she murmurs to herself, her thoughts racing. She has always been fierce and independent, bound by her lineage, but now, faced with Ren's constant resentment, her heart is in turmoil. As she sits in silence, Ren watches her from a distance, his thoughts consumed by anger. The mountain breeze carries with it the memories of everything he's lost, his freedom, his men, his future. He clenches his fists, the sting of betrayal by the woman who now sits in contemplation gnawing at his soul. Driven by his festering hatred, Ren approaches Kira, his footsteps deliberate. She hears him and looks up, startled by his presence. "What do you want, Ren?" she asks, her voice soft but guarded. "I want answers," he snaps, his eyes cold and unforgiving. "Why did you take me? Was it all just a game to you?" Kira flinches at the harshness in his voice but gathers her courage. "It wasn't supposed to be like this," she admits, her tone laced with vulnerability. "I was raised to be strong, to survive. But when I met you, something changed." Ren's jaw tightens at her words. "Changed?" he repeats, his tone mocking. "You think you can justify what you've done to me with some fleeting emotions? You've destroyed my life, Kira. Nothing you say will fix that." Kira feels the weight of his words, her heart aching. "I didn't want to hurt you," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know how to explain it, but being with you, it makes me question everything I've known. I never expected to feel this way." Ren steps closer, his anger palpable. "Feel what, Kira? Guilt? Regret?" he demands, his voice rising. "You think that admitting your so-called feelings makes everything better? That it erases the fact that I'm a prisoner, that my men are out there suffering because of you?" Kira's eyes well with unshed tears, though she refuses to let them fall. "I'm trying to be honest with you," she pleads. "I never wanted this for either of us." Ren's expression hardens further. "You never wanted this? You chose this, Kira. You chose to follow in your father's footsteps, to be a bandit. You had a choice, but you decided to live this life of crime." Kira feels the sting of his words, and her vulnerability deepens. "Do you think it's that simple? I never had the luxury of choice, Ren. This is the life I was born into. I didn't ask for it." Ren shakes his head, his hatred bubbling to the surface. "There's always a choice. And you made yours when you captured me. Whatever you think you feel doesn't matter. It's too late for you to play the victim." His words cut deep, and Kira feels the last vestiges of hope slipping away. "I never asked you to forgive me," she whispers, her voice trembling. "I just wanted you to know that. I care. I don't expect anything in return." Ren glares at her, his heart hardened by the pain she has caused him. "You care?" he scoffs. "If you truly cared, you wouldn't have done any of this. You wouldn't have taken me. You wouldn't have ruined my life." The silence between them is thick with tension. Kira tries to meet his gaze, but the weight of his hatred is too much to bear. She turns away, her shoulders sagging under the burden of her emotions. "I don't know how to fix this," she confesses, her voice barely audible. Ren's face is a mask of bitterness. "There's nothing to fix, Kira," he replies coldly. "You've made your bed, and now you have to lie in it." As Ren walks away, leaving Kira standing alone at the cliff's edge, she feels the full force of her defeat, not in battle, but in her heart. She had allowed herself to feel something for the first time in her life, only to be met with hatred and rejection. The episode ends with Kira watching Ren's retreating figure, her heart torn between her affection for him and the reality of the life she's trapped in. The wind howls through the mountains, carrying with it the echoes of a bond that could never be.